A face hidden behind a mask can hold the deepest secrets. Park Soo-min was not just an ordinary woman. She was the hidden jewel of the Kim family, forced into the spotlight of an arranged marriage with Kim Ji-hoon, a man as cold as the winter winds. On the surface, their union seemed perfect, but beneath the facade, a tempest brewed. Ji-hoon, shielded by walls built from heartache, saw only the surface of his wife, the quiet, ugly wife he had overlooked. In a vibrant world of lavish parties and societal expectations, Soo-min quietly donned her disguise, hiding her beauty behind oversized glasses and dull clothing, forever masked in mediocrity to avoid the ire of Ji-hoon's family. She navigated the terrain of their home, overlooked and underestimated, longing for connection, yet always keeping her heart guarded. As the days bled into months, Ji-hoon remained detached, caught up in the family politics that dictated his every move. The stark contrast of their worlds only deepened her resolve to shield herself from harm, as whispers of family intrigue filled the air. The Kim family's annual Grand Soirée approached, and with it, a decision hung in the air like a delicate thread. Would she stay hidden in the shadows, or unveil the truth of her existence? On that night, dressed in an awe-inspiring gown that shimmered like starlight, Soo-min chose to reveal herself, unveiling the stunning woman she truly was. Guests gasped, rapidly engulfed by a flurry of shock. Ji-hoon's reaction was paramount. His jaw dropped in disbelief, unable to comprehend the beauty standing before him, a radiant woman who had always stood quietly at his side. The shockwave propelled through the crowd, revealing family secrets hidden in plain sight. As Ji-hoon stumbled through layers of realization, the scars of his past began to heal, and he gradually unveiled the pain he had buried deep within himself. "I never knew you were so incredible," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. Chilling silence surrounded them, yet in that moment, a connection sparked anew, pulling them together in shared vulnerability. Soo-min's revelation not only altered Ji-hoon's perception, but also reshaped their destinies, highlighting love's ability to transcend appearances and societal expectations. The unraveling of family lies blazed paths toward reconciliation and newfound purpose, binding them in ways they never imagined. In the end, it was not simply a beautiful woman who emerged from the shadows, but a worthy partner and a resilient spirit who dared to fight for love amidst conflict. Their worlds began to intertwine as they confronted their insecurities, drawing them closer with each shared moment. The story of Park Soo-min and Kim Ji-hoon became a testament that true beauty, forged through trials, could indeed turn cold hearts warm. As their hands intertwined, they forged ahead into the unknown with hope in their hearts, knowing their journey of redemption had only just begun. Stay tuned for the next episode, where romance meets reality and love wins against all odds. Behind every mask lies a story waiting to unfold. Park Soo-min had perfected the art of invisibility in her arranged marriage to Kim Ji-hoon, a man encased in the cold armor of his elite world. Though her beauty was undeniable, she cloaked herself in layers of simplicity, dressed in frumpy clothes and oversized glasses, determined to avoid the harsh scrutiny of his wealthy family and the hidden rivalries that lurked in their luxurious home. In this gilded cage, Soo-min maneuvered each day, feeling like a ghost in her own life, while Ji-hoon remained oblivious, consumed by business meetings and family expectations. Their world was a stark contrast. He basked in privilege, while she embraced her role as the overlooked, ugly wife, shielding her heart from disappointment. As family functions came and went, Soo-min felt the weight of her disguise heavy on her shoulders. Private gatherings buzzed with laughter and connection, yet she remained the shadow in the corner, a mere decoration for her husband's social standing. Ji-hoon, weary from the demands of his life, barely acknowledged her, viewing her as little more than a footnote in his existence. Yet, deep within, she longed to be seen, to be loved for who she truly was. It was a heart-wrenching cycle of hope and despair that pushed her further into solitude. The annual Kim Family Gala approached, an extravagant event that would unveil the hidden faces of jealousy and ambition amongst the elite. As she prepared for the night, friends encouraged her to reveal her true self. With trembling hands, she decided this would be the night of her unveiling. Armed with a stunning gown and a sparkle in her eye, she stepped out of the shadows she had long inhabited. Moments before she entered the grand ballroom, Su-min took a deep breath, determined to participate in a life she had been missing. As she crossed the threshold, the room fell into an unexpected silence. Gasps echoed as faces turned towards her, eyes wide with disbelief. Ji-hoon stood frozen, a drink poised mid-air, unable to comprehend that the ugly wife he barely acknowledged was, in fact, the breathtaking woman who had quietly stood by him. In that breathless moment, the facade shattered. Whispers of shock reverberated through the crowd, like ripples in a pond, spreading the news of her transformation. "What? How?" Ji-hoon finally managed, his voice catching in his throat. The confusion on his face fueled an electric tension in the air. "You were always beautiful." His realization cascaded over both of them, breaking through the ice that had long separated their worlds. But why hide? Su-min, eyes glittering with fierceness and vulnerability, took a step closer. "Because I wanted to protect what little peace I could have here. I needed you to see me for who I am, not just as your wife." With her statement, the Kim's tangled web of secrets began unwinding. Hidden agendas surfaced, and Ji-hoon, now confronted with the truth of Su-min's existence, started to glimpse the weight of his family's expectations and the emotional toll it had taken. Friends turned to foes, revealing rivalries he had never noticed before. With every unmasking, the boundaries between their realities began to blur, and an unexpected bond formed in the chaos, born from understanding and shared struggles. "Let's not just be part of this world, Su-min. Let's change it together," Ji-hoon said passionately, the barriers he'd built starting to crumble. Each conversation, every confession, brought them closer, igniting feelings long buried under layers of resentment. As the night drew to a close, their hearts raced with anticipation, not just for what lay ahead, but for the power they discovered in each other. Love blossomed in the most unexpected of places, as their worlds intertwined, proving that even amidst family scandal, true connection could emerge. Don't miss the next chapter of their journey as Park Su-min and Kim Ji-hoon navigate love, sacrifice, and redemption in a world filled with trials and triumphs. Subscribe now and follow their story of passion and connection, where romance defies all odds. Behind every veil lies a truth that can change everything. Park Su-min was known as the simple wife of the wealthy Kim Ji-hoon, a man ensnared by the expectations of his elite family. In her drab clothing and oversized glasses, she had crafted a life of invisibility, blending into the ornate walls of the Kim household. Ji-hoon, however, only saw a shadow in his periphery, consumed by the relentless demands of family honor and business affairs. He was the perfect son, but in his icy demeanor, he buried the warmth of genuine connection. Su-min's heart ached under the weight of indifference, and as days turned to weeks, she felt more like a ghost haunting the grand estate. The annual Kim family gala loomed like a looming storm, igniting a spark of determination within Su-min. This year, she would no longer hide her true self. Encouraged by a supportive friend, she prepared to dazzle the world and finally reveal her beauty. Each fabric swish and every twinkle of lights outside the mansion sparked hope in her heart. When the night arrived, she stepped out of her discreet cocoon, embracing the vibrant colors and elegant lines that highlighted her figure. As she entered the grand ballroom, a hush fell over the crowd. The stark contrast of her appearance ignited gasps and whispers, yet none were louder than the silence from Ji-hoon as he, drink in hand, widened his eyes in disbelief. Who are you?" he stammered, struggling to reconcile the vision before him with the woman he had dismissed for so long. The transformation stunned him to his core. Was this the person he had chosen to marry, hidden behind layers of restraint? Su-min stood tall, a confidence shimmering in her newly revealed beauty. "I am exactly who you see," she replied, her voice laced with emotion. "I've always been here, but you chose not to see me." Every word hung in the air between them, thick with tension as their worlds collided. As shock rippled through the guests, Su Min's revelation shattered more than just her disguise. It exposed the cracks in the Kim family's polished facade, unearthing resentments that had simmered for years. A fierce rivalry among the family members thrust forward, revealing the stakes at play for all involved. Ji-hoon suddenly found himself situated in a web of conflicting loyalties as eyes darted, whispers flowed, and secrets simmered. "What have I done?" he echoed quietly, mind racing. "You were right in choosing to hide, but I didn't realize I was suffocating you out of my own insecurities." Seeing his anguish, Su Min's heart softened. "I did it to protect myself," she said. "In this world I learned the hard way that appearances are everything. I didn't want to be a threat to you." Each revelation drew them closer, the once impenetrable walls between them beginning to dissolve as mutual vulnerabilities unveiled their deepest fears, his fear of loss and her fear of rejection. "We can change that," Ji-hoon said, a new intensity in his voice. "Let's face this together." There was a glimmer of hope in his eyes, sparking something deeper within Su Min's heart. The party continued around them, a tapestry of surprise, intrigue, and burgeoning love. With stolen glances and meaningful conversation, they explored their feelings, each interaction smoothing the jagged edges of their past misunderstandings. As the night progressed, Su Min and Ji-hoon emerged, not just as a husband and wife bound by duty, but as partners ready to confront what lay ahead. They shared laughter and confessions, every moment enveloping them in warmth, a promise of acceptance from both. In a world of deceptions, they chose authenticity, ready to navigate their complex lives forged in love. The drama of the evening crescendoing, they stood united against the swirling doubts, ready to face the future. Their love story had only just begun, one woven through layers of anticipation and hope. Don't miss the next chapter in this tale of love and family, where courage defeats conflicts, and every moment is an opportunity to shine brighter. Subscribe now for more heated emotions and romance. Beneath every mask lies a story waiting to be told. Park Soo-min had always been the overlooked daughter-in-law of the affluent Kim family, living in a world of opulence and rigid expectations. While the lavish parties shimmered with elegance, her marriage to the distant and wealthy Kim Ji-hoon felt like a gilded cage, suffocating her spirit with every passing day. Behind oversized glasses and frumpy clothes, she disguised her beauty, determined to avoid the scrutiny of Ji-hoon's family, who expected nothing less than perfection. In the luxurious Kim mansion, Ji-hoon was a man entrenched in his responsibilities. He was dutiful to his family, but emotionally detached, driven by societal pressures. He hardly noticed his wife, too consumed by his own struggles and the family's expectations. Su-min quietly yearned for his attention, feeling invisible in a home filled with superficial charm. As the routine of their lives settled into a melancholic rhythm, her heart ached for connection, love, and understanding, things she felt she would never have. With the Kim family's annual gala approaching, a flicker of hope ignited in Su-min's heart. This year, she decided, she would step out of the shadows. Thanks to a friend's encouragement, she resolved to reveal her true self. In the bustling preparations for the event, her transformation began. A stunning dress, delicate makeup, and her hair cascading down her shoulders. The starry night of the gala arrived, and with a heartbeat echoing in her chest, Su-min took a deep breath and stepped into the ballroom. As she entered, the bustling crowd fell silent, as if time had paused. Guests blinked in disbelief, unable to comprehend the radiant woman gracing their presence. All eyes, especially Ji-hoon's, were drawn to her. He stood frozen, a cocktail in hand, his jaw slightly agape as he struggled to grasp that the quiet, unassuming woman he had overlooked was now a vision of elegance. "Who are you?" he managed, his voice a mix of astonishment and confusion. "I am the same person you chose to marry," Su-min replied, her voice steady despite the whirlwind of emotions within. "I am not just your ugly wife. I am so much more." The atmosphere shifted, filled with a swirling mix of shock and intrigue. Each whispered conversation crescendoed around them, exposing the long-standing barriers that had kept them apart. As the initial shock wore off, Su-min found the courage to share the truth. I wore a mask to protect myself, a disguise to fit a world that only values appearance, but I refused to hide any longer. Her words pierced through the air, shedding light on her struggles and breaking the silence that had cloaked their marriage. Ji-hoon's defenses crumbled. I never saw the real you, and it's my fault, he admitted, regret etching into his features. I was so caught up in my responsibilities that I failed to look beyond them. I'm sorry. Their conversation became a cathartic confession, unraveling the tangled emotions they both harbored. In that moment, surrounded by the glitz of the gala, they began to explore their feelings anew. The lavish surroundings faded from view as they embraced vulnerability. Other guests, oblivious to the shifting dynamic in the center of the room, continued their celebrations. But for Soo-min and Ji-hoon, the night took on a new life. They laughed, shared aspirations, and confronted their fears together. As the evening unfolded, it became clear that their love could flourish in the wake of such revelation. Ji-hoon realized he had been stifled by family pressures and a fear of vulnerability. "We can create our own path," he declared, inspiration igniting in his eyes. "Let's redefine what family means." Soo-min smiled, heart swelling with hope. Freedom, understanding, and love blossomed amidst the chaos. The unexpected journey they had embarked upon started to tie their lives together, reminding them that true beauty lies not just in appearances, but in the connections forged through honesty and acceptance. The music swelled and they moved closer, lost in the moment, faces lit by the glow of possibility. There was still work to be done. Family tensions loomed on the horizon, but armed with newfound understanding, they felt ready to face whatever came next. Join us on this captivating journey as Soo-min and Ji-hoon navigate love, loss, and redemption against the backdrop of family expectations and societal pressure. Don't miss the next chapter filled with passion, secrets, and heartfelt moments that define the best K-dramas. Subscribe now and stay tuned. Love can blossom in the most unlikely of places. Park Soo-min lived in a world of shimmering grandeur, buried beneath the expectations of the Kim family. Her arranged marriage to Kim Ji-hoon, a man of wealth but cold demeanor, left her feeling like a flickering candle in a dark room. While the lavish parties of the Kim mansion sparkled with elegance, Soo-min's existence felt drab, hidden behind plain clothes and oversized glasses. She had created a deliberate facade of an ugly wife to blend into the background and avoid the scrutiny of Ji-hoon's elite family. As she moved like a ghost through the grand halls, Ji-hoon was oblivious to her struggle. Caught up in the suffocating expectations of being the perfect son, he failed to notice the vibrant heart beating beneath Soo-min's mundane appearance. He immersed himself in business and family duties, leaving her yearning for connection. Each day felt like a long stretch of solitude, her heart growing heavier with unspoken desire. Would she ever capture his attention, or was she destined to remain unseen? When the Kim family announced a grand gala, an event filled with the who's who of high society, Soo-min felt a spark of determination. This would be her moment to break free from her self-imposed chains and reveal the truth of who she was. With encouragement from her friends, she transformed herself into the stunning woman she longed to be, shedding her disguise like a butterfly emerging from a chrysalis. As the night of the gala approached, anticipation and anxiety swirled within her. Under the sparkling chandeliers, with golden decorations glimmering in the backdrop, Soo-min stepped into the ballroom, leaving the masks of her old life behind. The room fell eerily silent as all eyes turned to her, mouths agape in shock. Ji-hoon stood amid the crowd, a drink poised helplessly in his hand, disbelief etched across his face. "Is that really you?" he gasped, struggling to process the undeniable beauty standing before him. "I am the same person you married," she replied, her voice steady, despite the uncertainty in her heart. "I just wanted you to see me." The tension hung thick in the air, a mixture of surprise and revelation as the world around them momentarily faded away. Guests whispered, their amazement fading into the background noise, leaving only the raw emotion shared between the two. As Soo-min articulated how she had hidden to protect herself from judgment, Ji-hoon felt the weight of realization crash over him. "I never truly saw you, and I pushed you aside as though you were invisible," he admitted, his expression shifting from confusion to regret. An atmosphere change surged through the room, like a dam breaking as hidden truths began to surface. The cautious barrier between them crackled with energy, ignited by vulnerability. "Being part of this family isn't easy," Soo-min confessed, her eyes glimmering with unshed tears. "I thought hiding was the only way to survive." Ji-hoon, for the first time, acknowledged her pain. "You shouldn't have had to hide at all," he said softly. "We can change this, for both of us." That night, in the midst of the gala, their lives intertwined like threads in a rich tapestry. With each word, they began to tear down the walls built by expectations and misunderstandings. Soo-min's laughter filled the hall as they danced, the weight of her worries lifting with every twirl. She discovered that Ji-hoon's walls were merely defenses against a society that valued appearances over sincerity, and he learned that true worth lay hidden beneath the surface. The evening ended in a flurry of emotions and newly forged connections, replacing their past indifference with a bond stronger than before. Ji-hoon realized that the world around him was suffocating both of them, and together, they could redefine their marriage, not as a result of obligations, but as a partnership rooted in love and understanding. As the night wore on, they stood hand in hand, gazing at the stars, each star a reminder of the untold possibilities that lay ahead. "Let's navigate this life together," Ji-hoon said, hope shining in his eyes. The sadness that had once lingered in Soo-min's heart started to fade, replaced by visions of a future shared with warmth, acceptance, and shared aspirations. Join Soo-min and Ji-hoon on their journey of love and discovery, filled with emotion, surprises, and twists that will keep your heart racing. Subscribe now to follow every moment of this captivating tale where love overcomes all barriers. Behind every glamorous facade lies a hidden story longing to break free. Park Soo-min had always felt like an outsider in her marriage to the wealthy Kim Ji-hoon. The poised and distant heir to the Kim family empire, Ji-hoon, was consumed with expectations, leaving little room for the heart buried beneath layers of wealth and prestige. While he navigated high society with ease, Soo-min wrestled with her identity, cloaking herself in plain clothes and oversized glasses, striving to be invisible amid the glitz of their world. She hoped the guys would shield her from the harsh judgment of the Kim family, but instead, it only heightened her loneliness, growing with each passing day. The grand Kim family gala approached, a lavish event where the elite gathered to showcase their wealth and power. The anticipation was electric, but to Soo-min, it felt like a heavy burden. Every year, the event served as a reminder of her role as Ji-hoon's simple wife, a title that stung each time it echoed in her mind. Her longing for his affection transformed into despair as Ji-hoon appeared oblivious to her silent struggles. The dazzling parties were a stage where she performed a role she did not want. Would this year be different, or would she once again disappear into the background? Empowered by her frustration, Soo-min decided it was time to unveil her true self. Supported by a close friend, she transformed for the gala, shedding her disguise to reveal her stunning beauty. As the evening unfolded, she slipped into a breathtaking gown, her hair cascading down in shimmery waves. The moment drew near, and her heart raced with anticipation and fear. Would Ji-hoon even recognize her when she stepped into the spotlight? As she entered the ballroom, a murmur swept through the crowd. Time seemed to slow, and every gaze fell upon her. Ji-hoon, standing tall among the guests, froze, a drink almost spilling from his hand. "Soo-min?" he uttered, disbelief etched across his features. "I am the same person you married," she replied, her voice steady yet soft, filled with emotion. "I chose to hide because I didn't want to be a burden. But tonight, I reveal myself so you can see who I truly am." The room buzzed with shock, the air thick with unspoken words. Whispers erupted, yet all Ji-hoon could focus on was the woman shining before him. The realization struck him hard, and he found himself bathed in guilt. "I didn't realize how profoundly I hurt you," he admitted, his voice laced with sorrow. "You've always been more than I saw." Her heart fluttered at his words, the walls of vulnerability crumbling around them as her anguish transformed into a shared moment of reckoning. As the evening progressed, they danced, their connections deepening with each step. Ji-hoon held her close, feeling the warmth radiating from her heart. "I've spent my life trying to be perfect, but in doing so I lost sight of what mattered. The person standing next to me," he confessed, regret flooding his voice. "You can redefine what family means, Ji-hoon," Soo-min encouraged, her heart racing. "Let's embrace who we both are. It has to be more than this facade." The dynamic between them shifted, a delicate balance formed, as they explored the love buried beneath years of misunderstanding. As guests continued to mingle, Ji-hoon pulled her aside, emotion swirling in his eyes. "I want to be there for you from now on. You deserve my attention and love." Her heart soared, and their gazes held a quiet promise. A new beginning together, free from the shackles of societal expectations. The gala continued to unfold around them like a beautiful tapestry, every thread connecting them further in ways they had never imagined. As the ballroom spun in elegance, Soo-min and Ji-hoon began their own journey, hand in hand, ready to face the adversities of their intertwined lives. Stay tuned for the next captivating chapter as Park Soo-min and Kim Ji-hoon navigate love, trust, and family dynamics amid the challenges that await. Don't miss out on the heart-wrenching emotion and romance. Subscribe now to follow their journey, where every twist reveals a deeper connection. A hidden gem can outshine even the brightest diamond. Park Soo-min had spent years submerged in the shadows of her husband's extravagant life, feeling lost in the opulence of the Kim family. Married to Kim Ji-hoon, a man admired for his business acumen but emotionally distant, Soo-min felt more like a decoration than a partner. She dressed in plain clothes, her once vibrant spirit dimming beneath the weight of family expectations and societal pressures. While Ji-hoon commanded the room with ease, she felt like a ghost, unseen and unheard. As the Kim family prepared for their annual gala, an event destined to dazzle the elite, Soo-min's insecurities tightened their grip around her heart. The lavish affair would showcase wealth and connections, and she was determined not to be a mere afterthought this year. This time she would break free from the confines of her identity as Ji-hoon's invisible woman. With a flicker of resolve, she set out to transform herself into the woman she had always hidden behind layers of disguise. The night of the gala arrived. Soo-min stood before the mirror, her heart pounding, as she donned a stunning gown that hugged her figure. With careful strokes, she applied her makeup to highlight her features, finally removing the glasses that had covered her eyes. As she stepped into the ballroom, candles flickered, and chandeliers sparkled overhead, casting a warm glow on the crowd. Gasps filled the air as all eyes turned to her, shock rippling through the guests. Ji-hoon, standing off to one side, froze, his drink nearly slipping from his grip. "Soo-min," he echoed, disbelief written across his face. The vibrant woman before him bore little resemblance to the plain wife he barely noticed. "I have been here all along," she said confidently. "You just never looked closely enough." The world around them faded, and for the first time Ji-hoon truly saw his wife, a mix of astonishment and regret flooding his expression. The whispers of the crowd faded away as Soo-min stepped closer. "I wore this mask to shield myself, to fit into a world that never felt like mine." The tension between them crackled. "Why didn't you ever tell me?" Ji-hoon asked, pain evident in his voice. "I never wanted you to feel that way." His revelation struck a chord within her, the truth of his ignorance mingling with her sorrow. "Because I thought you saw me as an extension of your image, not as a person," she replied, vulnerability spilling forth with every word. Emotions collided as they began to uncover each other's truths. Ji-hoon confessed he had been weighed down by family expectations, trapped by the need to appear perfect. "I was so focused on my duties that I failed to see you, the woman right in front of me," he admitted, regret seeping into his tone. As they danced amidst the whispering guests, the realm of high society faded, and their world expanded. Each twirl revealed the essence of who they were, drawing them closer amid the chaos of the gala. Su-min found herself shedding the layers of insecurity that had defined her for so long, while Ji-hoon laid bare his own vulnerabilities, transforming their union into something real and tangible. "I want to know everything about you," Ji-hoon whispered, gently holding her gaze. "I don't want to live in a gilded cage anymore. I want to break free with you." The love blooming between them pulsed with warmth, igniting a connection that transcended past hurts. The night was electric, each moment filled with laughter, confessions, and a newfound clarity for both of them. They began crafting a new narrative, breaking the chains of expectation that had long held them captive. As they spent the evening together, guests murmured in awe of the couple who had transformed amid their sparkling world, drawing admiration with their authenticity and connection. The gala, once a source of dread for Su-min, became a canvas where they rediscovered each other, illuminating their hearts. They clung tightly to one another, embracing the promise of rebuild and reinvention. As the evening drew to a close, Su-min and Ji-hoon stood outside under a cascade of stars, the cool night air refreshing against their skin. With hope in their eyes, they vowed to face whatever storms lay ahead, together. Join Park Su-min and Kim Ji-hoon as they embark on their heartfelt journey of love and rediscovery amidst the trials of family dynamics and societal expectation. Subscribe now for every twist and turn of their emotional roller coaster, where love triumphs over all odds. In a world of opulence, love often comes wrapped in sorrow. Park Su-min felt like a mere shadow as she navigated the glamorous yet suffocating life of the Kim family. Married to the distinguished Kim Ji-hoon, a man shaped by privilege and burdened by expectations, Su-min lived in a constant state of invisibility. While their mansion gleamed with wealth and status, her heart grew heavy under the weight of being the invisible wife, forever hidden behind plain clothes and oversized glasses. She longed for Ji-hoon's attention, craving the affection she rarely received in their life of pretense. As the annual Kim family gala approached, Su-min felt the familiar tangle of anxiety and determination. This year, she decided, would be different. She had spent countless evenings contemplating how to break free from her cocoon. Fueled by a surge of resolve, she began to prepare for the event, shedding the layers of her disguise that suffocated her reason to exist. She envisioned a moment where she would no longer slip into the background, but emerge as the woman she was meant to be. The night of the gala glittered with sophistication as guests arrived in their finest attire. Under the shimmering lights, Su-min stepped into the ballroom, and the air seemed to shift. In a breathtaking gown that hugged her curves, her transformation was stunning. Gasps erupted as eyes widened in astonishment. Ji-hoon stood at the edge of the crowd, frozen in disbelief. In his mind, he questioned if the woman before him was the same one he had overlooked for so long. "Su-min," he finally breathed, astonishment lacing his voice. "Is it really you?" The warmth of her presence now sparkled like champagne in the air. "I am the same person, Ji-hoon. Only this time, I don't intend to hide," she replied, her voice steady. His lips parted as he struggled to comprehend the striking beauty before him, a storm of regret swirling in his heart. The atmosphere shifted, the murmurs of guests blending into a soft hum as the reality of the moment sank in. "Why didn't you show me this side of you?" Ji-hoon's voice trembled, mirroring his internal battle. "I thought you didn't care," she said, her eyes shimmering with vulnerability. "I wanted to protect myself from being judged or hurt." As they spoke, the layers of their individual worlds began to peel away. Ji-hoon realized the emotional void he had created in their marriage. He had been so focused on family expectations that he failed to appreciate his wife. He stepped closer, bridging the gap between them. "I wish I had seen the real you sooner. You've always been more than just the woman beside me," he admitted, a hint of pain coursing through his words. Their conversation began to draw the attention of guests, whose whispers echoed off the walls of the grand ballroom. With each revelation, they discovered the genuine connection they had long buried under layers of misunderstanding. The vulnerability of the moment sparked something within Ji-hoon, a desire to be more than the perfect son bound by duty, to celebrate the woman who had quietly endured their struggles. Let's change this together, Sumin urged, hope glistening in her eyes. We can redefine what it means to be a family. Their shared laughter filled the hall as they danced, the rhythm of their movements echoing the newfound harmony in their hearts. With every step, they relinquished the burdens they had carried for so long, embracing the joy of rediscovering each other amid the chaos of glimmering chandeliers and elegant gowns. As the night progressed, they leaned into the magic of their love. Discovery mingled with trust, each confession deepening the bond they had rekindled. Ji-hoon pulled her close, whispering promises of a future unburdened by expectations. "We'll face our family together," he pledged, holding her hand tightly. They emerged from the ballroom, stepping into the cool night air. Moonlight bathed them in a gentle glow, overwhelming emotions contrasting with the serene surroundings. With hope blossoming in their hearts, they smiled at one another, promising to navigate their lives as partners bound by love and understanding. Join Park Soo-min and Kim Ji-hoon as they navigate the twists and turns of love, family dynamics, and self-discovery in their heartfelt journey. Subscribe now to follow their captivating story, where romance triumphs over adversity, and every episode brims with emotion and connection. Love can flourish in the most unexpected places. Park Soo-min had spent years playing the role of the invisible wife in the opulent world of the Kim family. Married to Kim Ji-hoon, a man ensnared by the weight of his family's expectations, she felt more like a shadow than a partner. The grand estate, adorned with luxury and glamour, felt cold and isolating to Soo-min, who dressed in plain clothes and hid behind oversized glasses to escape scrutiny. While Ji-hoon commanded attention and respect, she longed for just a fraction of his affection. As the annual Kim family gala approached, Soo-min wrestled with feelings of dread and determination. This year, she resolved to unveil the woman she had hidden away for so long and break free from her cocoon of invisibility. Each night leading up to the event was spent in front of mirrors, imagining what it would be like to stand confidently beside her husband, to be seen and heard. She envisioned a night where she wouldn't fade into the background but instead shine in the spotlight. The night of the gala arrived. The grand ballroom shimmered with chandeliers and rich decorations, filled with the elite of society, each person yearning for attention. Soo-min took a deep breath, a stunning gown hugging her figure perfectly. As she stepped inside, a hush fell over the crowd. All heads turned toward her, two worlds colliding in disbelief and awe. Ji-hoon, leaning casually against the wall, froze, a drink suspended mid-air. "Soo-min?" he exclaimed. "Yes, it's me, the woman you've never truly seen," she replied, her voice steady but laced with emotion. She had emerged from the shadows of anonymity, revealing a radiant beauty that left the room breathless. The gasps echoed like ripples throughout the crowd, each oscillating wave a reminder of how little Ji-hoon had noticed his wife before. Ji-hoon felt a storm of emotions as the realization washed over him. "I had no idea." He trailed off, shaken. "Why didn't you show me this before?" His tone held a mixture of regret and wonderment. "Because I was afraid you wouldn't love me for who I am," Soo-min confessed. The vulnerability of her words hung in the air, and the truth struck him hard. As guests continued to chatter, Soo-min felt the weight of her confession lift, allowing her to breathe freely. "I spent years trying to fit into this perfect image you needed," she admitted, stepping closer. "But I realize now that I deserve to be known." The atmosphere crackled with tension and a newfound connection as Ji-hoon processed her words. "I can't believe I've been blind," Ji-hoon murmured, his gaze locking onto hers. "I've been so focused on everything but you." Their worlds collided in that instance. His world of expectations and her world of longing intertwined like fragile threads woven together by fate. "It's not too late, Ji-hoon. We can change this together," she whispered, her heart pounding with hope. Moments passed like hours as he looked into her eyes and saw not just his wife but a woman full of dreams and strength. "Let's face our families, our challenges, and take on the world. Together," he promised, commitment shining in his eyes. The moment broke the spell of isolation that had enveloped them both for years. transforming their relationship into a partnership gilded by honesty and trust. Around them, the gala continued, but their connection had shifted the very fabric of the night. Laughter bubbled between them as they danced, and every twirl and spin slowly filled the room with more than just joy. It became a celebration of love, reborn. With each step they took, they promised to nurture this new bond, embracing the past while forging a fresh future together. Under the starry sky and the soft glow of candles, they stood hand in hand, a vow echoing through their hearts. Follow the journey of Park Soo-min and Kim Ji-hoon as they navigate love, family expectations, and the discovery of their true selves against the backdrop of high society. Subscribe now to join them through every twist and turn filled with emotion and romance that awaits in their captivating story. In a world where appearances dictated worth, love found its way through a veil of invisibility. Park Soo-min had long been the forgotten wife of Kim Ji-hoon, a man who effortlessly navigated the high society of their affluent world. While the Kim family basked in luxury, Soo-min faded into the background, dressing in drab clothing and adopting a modest demeanor, becoming the epitome of the invisible woman. Ji-hoon, focused on meeting the expectations of his powerful family, seldom glanced her way, not realizing the vibrant personality hidden beneath her plain exterior. As the annual Kim family gala approached, a mixture of dread and determination coursed through Soo-min. This year would be different. For too long, she had allowed herself to be swept aside in favor of glitz and glamour. With a newfound resolve, she spent late nights preparing for the event, shedding her past disguise to unveil the woman she truly was. Her heart raced with anticipation, hoping to break free from her confines and finally be seen by her husband. On the night of the gala, the grand ballroom sparkled with opulence. As guests elaborately dressed in designer gowns and tailored suits mingled, Soo-min appeared at the entrance. Gasps resonated through the crowd as she stepped into the spotlight, an exquisite figure draped in a stunning gown that hugged her curves perfectly. Ji-hoon, standing at the edge of the crowd, was rendered speechless, his drink almost spilling from his hand. "Soo-min?" he whispered, incredulity flooding his voice. "Yes, it's me," she replied, voice steady yet filled with emotion. "I am who you chose to marry, but you never really saw me." The weight of her words hung heavy in the air, drawing attention and shattering the stillness that had taken hold of the room. In that moment, the vibrant woman before him dismantled every assumption he had carried. "What happened to you?" Ji-hoon implored, his voice laced with concern. "You were always beautiful." The surprise in his eyes ignited a spark within Soo-min, who had masked her beauty to avoid scrutiny for so long. "I chose to hide," she confessed, vulnerability creeping into her voice. "I thought it would protect me from judgment and rejection." Their stares held tightly to each other, each heart desperately yearning for recognition and connection. Ji-hoon's mind raced as he processed her confession. "I've been blind," he admitted, guilt lining his expression. "I didn't see you struggling to fit into this world. You just became another part of it." With every exchange, the layers of their lives began to peel away. "We aren't just products of our families, Ji-hoon. We are more than their expectations," Soo-min urged, her voice filled with a mix of compassion and firmness. The tension cracked open a pathway to honesty they had never dared to explore before. "I want to know who you truly are," Ji-hoon said, determination weaving itself into his plea. "Show me the real you, not the one who hides." Soo-min felt a rush of emotion flood through her, igniting a warmth in her heart. Under the glittering chandeliers, their connection blossomed as they exchanged laughter, mixed with poignant revelations. As they danced amidst the lingering throngs of guests, the compositions of their lives began to harmonize as one. With each twirl, they unveiled fragments of their true selves, building a bridge of understanding, sturdy enough to withstand their challenges. The world faded away, and all that remained was the rhythm of their hearts sinking in time. "What if we faced our families together?" Ji-hoon suggested, adrenaline sparking in his voice. "Let's show them that we are more than just their characters." Determination sparked in Soo-min's eyes, excitement igniting her spirit. "Yes, "Let's redefine who we are and what love means," she declared, emboldened by the choices they were about to make. The night unfolded with electric energy as they embraced each other, not as husband and wife defined by obligation, but as partners ready to take on the world, lightened by love. With hope blooming in their eyes, they ventured into the future, committed to their journey of discovery, support, and blazing newfound paths together. Join Park Soo-min and Kim Ji-hoon as they navigate the challenges of love, societal expectations, and the beautiful journey of self-discovery. Subscribe now to follow their emotional roller coaster full of passion and romance, where the heart knows no boundaries. Love is often hidden beneath layers of silence. Park Soo-min had spent years living in the shadow of her husband, Kim Ji-hoon, the wealthy heir of the illustrious Kim family. Despite her beauty and intelligence, Soo-min felt invisible, swallowed by the glitzy world they inhabited. Every day, she donned ordinary clothing and kept herself at a distance, fearing that her light would only draw unwanted attention. Ji-hoon, caught in the relentless demands of family duty, failed to recognize the vibrant soul he had married, leaving her heart aching for connection. With the annual Kim family gala approaching, a mix of anxiety and determination surged within her. This year, she resolved to change everything. Wearing the facade of an invisible wife had stifled her spirit for too long, and it was time to step into the light. As she meticulously prepared for the event, a glimmer of hope ignited inside her. Maybe this was the moment she could finally reveal herself and win Ji-hoon's attention. The gala night arrived. The grand ballroom dressed in lavish decorations, sparkling chandeliers overhead. The elite of society mingled, their laughter echoing through the air. As Soo-min stood at the entrance, dressed in a breathtaking gown that accentuated her beauty, all eyes turned toward her. Shock rippled through the guests, whispers circulating like wildfire. Ji-hoon, standing off to the side, stared with a mixture of disbelief and awe. "Is that really you, Soo-min?" he gasped, realization washing over him. "Yes, it's me," she replied, her heart racing. "For too long, I hid in plain sight. Tonight, I'm ready to be seen." The tension in the air crackled as Ji-hoon stepped closer, bewildered by the transformation before his eyes. In that moment, he saw not just his wife, but a woman who was strong, determined, and capable of captivating hearts. I had no idea," Ji-hoon stammered, regret creeping into his voice. "Why did you hide?" His words cut through the silence, forcing Soo-min to face the reality of their marriage. "I thought it was safer not to be noticed," she confessed, vulnerability dancing in her eyes. "I was afraid I would be viewed as a burden." As they exchanged glances, the room buzzed around them, but they were lost in their own world. "You've never been a burden to me," Ji-hoon insisted, his tone shifting from shock to sincerity. "I've been so focused on my duties that I neglected the one person who meant everything to me." The sincerity in his words began to dissolve the barriers they had built, allowing the warmth of connection to seep in. "What do we do now?" Soo-min asked softly, her voice trembling with hope. Ji-hoon reached for her hand, bringing it to his chest. "We start anew. Let's embrace who we are, not just as individuals, but as partners facing this world together." Their fingers intertwined, the promise of change hanging in the air like a delicate thread. In that instant, surrounded by the trappings of wealth, they began to unearth the true essence of their relationship. The dance floor became their haven as they moved gracefully, laughter punctuating their steps, the tension between them fading into a warm glow of familiarity. "Together, we can rewrite our story," Ji-hoon declared, his eyes sparkling with determination. The night unfolded like a dream, each moment filled with joy and the discovery of their inner selves. As guests danced around them, Soo-min and Ji-hoon shared secrets and dreams, their hearts swelling with newfound affection and understanding. Past hurts began to heal, making way for a relationship forged in trust and honesty. "I'll always support you," Ji-hoon promised, his voice steady and full of conviction. "You'll never need to hide again." The sincerity of his words blossomed hope within Soo-min's heart. As they gazed into each other's eyes, They saw a future rife with possibilities. Underneath the glittering night sky, with laughter echoing in the distance, Soo-min whispered, "I've always loved you, Ji-hoon. Now I understand how important it is for both of us to be true to ourselves." Their hearts harmonized, intertwining in a dance of destiny that promised brighter days ahead. Join Park Soo-min and Kim Ji-hoon as they embark on a heartfelt journey of love, self-discovery, and redemption. Subscribe now to witness every twist and turn of their enchanting story, where hope ignites and true connections flourish against the odds. Sometimes, love hides in the last place you'd expect. Park Soo-min sat quietly at the lavish Kim family dinner, invisible in a room filled with noise and laughter. Married to Kim Ji-hoon, the charming heir of a powerful dynasty, Soo-min felt more like a ghost than a wife. Clad in simple attire that blended with the expensive decor, she faded into the backdrop of her husband's extravagant lifestyle. Surrounded by wealth, she had long ago given up on trying to engage in Ji-hoon's world, swallowed by the icy indifference he often displayed. As the pressures of Ji-hoon's family mounted, he became even more absorbed in his roles of successful businessman and devoted son, leaving Soo-min to navigate the loneliness alone. Late at night, she would stand before the mirror, longing to unveil her true self, the woman buzzing with creativity and passion beneath her facade. But the fear of rejection kept her locked away, masking her vibrant personality and dreams. One fateful evening, the family gathered for an important gala, an event that promised to showcase both power and prestige. As the preparations unfolded, Soo-min felt trapped in a whirlwind of anxiety and dread. The echoes of laughter and clinking glasses filled the grandeur of their mansion, but to her it felt suffocating. She wrapped herself in a newfound resolve. This would be her moment to be seen, to step into the light. Before the gala began, she made an impulsive decision. Trading her simple attire for a striking gown, she transformed into the woman she had long kept hidden. With waves of soft curls cascading down her shoulders and elegant makeup highlighting her features, she felt a pulse of confidence run through her veins. As she entered the ballroom, the atmosphere shifted. All eyes turned toward her, stunned silence replacing the earlier chatter. Ji-hoon stood frozen, a glass of wine poised mid-air. "Soo-min," he stammered, disbelief intertwined with rapid realization washing over him. "Is that really you?" The atmosphere hummed with the collective gasp of the guests, surprise rippling through the crowd. "Yes, it's me," she replied softly, stepping forward. "I'm tired of hiding in the shadows of your life. I want you to see me." Ji-hoon's expression transformed from shock to profound regret as he took in the stunning woman standing before him, recognition finally dawning. "I never knew." His voice trailed off, filled with a mixture of awe and guilt. In that moment, an invisible thread began to unravel, exposing the truth of their relationship. "I thought you were happy," Ji-hoon said, stepping closer. "I never realized how much I ignored the person who was right beside me." The warmth of Soo-min's vulnerability reached out to him as she revealed her heart. "I felt like a burden, not worthy of your attention or love." A flash of realization struck Ji-hoon, the walls he had built around his emotions crumbling. "You were never a burden," he said, reaching for her hand. "I was blind to what this marriage truly meant. I need to change." Their hands intertwined, the promise of understanding sparking between them. "Let's rediscover each other," she suggested, hope blossoming in her heart. With the crowded ballroom as their backdrop, their conversations began to weave together a tapestry of dreams and futures. Each laugh shared and secret confessed chipped away at the distance that had crept between them. "This evening can be our turning point," Ji-hoon replied, determination evident in his gaze. "I want to know all of you, the real you." The evolving connection between them spurred a sense of intimacy that blossomed like the flowers adorning the gala's tables. Misunderstandings faded, replaced by a renewed sense of partnership. As they danced beneath the ornate chandeliers, the world around them melted away. They embraced the vibrancy the night offered, weaving their personalities together in a colorful celebration of their love. Ji-hoon dipped Soo-min under the shimmering lights, laughter bubbling forth as they moved to the rhythm of newfound harmony. Underneath the sparkling stars, they paused, their foreheads touching, smiles illuminating their faces. "We can redefine our lives together," Ji-hoon promised, vulnerability shining in his eyes. "I want to break free from the expectations that have chained us for so long." Sumin felt a surge of warmth at his words, her heart swelling with love and hope. "And I promise to always show you the real me," she vowed. They shared a soft, meaningful kiss, sealing their bond with unspoken promises and a brighter future. Join Park Soo-min and Kim Ji-hoon as they navigate the challenges of love, family, and self-discovery. Subscribe now to witness their journey filled with emotional twists, heartfelt confessions, and an enduring romance that blossoms against all odds.